Off the top, a federal judge in Grand Rapids handing down the first sentence in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. Ty Garbin was sentenced to 75 months in federal prison, 6 years for his role.
News 8's Ruben Juarez was inside the courtroom today. Ruben?
Brian and Sue, Ty Garbin cooperated with agents looking into the plot, sharing plan details and showing remorse for his actions. The judge in the case taking those details into account at this afternoon's sentencing. Ty Garbin's attorneys content with today's outcome.
We got what we asked for, in essence. We asked for 72 months. He gave 75 months.
The first man sentenced in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. The group upset with Whitmer's COVID orders. Garbin took the steps necessary to get a 75-month sentence after prosecutors wanted him locked up for 9 years. Garbin's willingness to cooperate with agents in uncovering the plot, leading the government to ask Judge Robert Yonker to give Garbin credit for helping investigators reinforce their case against his co-defendants who, unlike Garbin, have not pled guilty for their roles in the plot and are taking their cases to trial.
I think the government does a very good job of pointing out that Ty fills in the blanks. There were times when there wasn't a confidential informant. There were times when there wasn't an undercover. And Ty did a great job in all of his cooperation by now, up till this point, of filling those blanks in, of putting meat on the bones of the government's case. And that can't be underestimated.
Garbin's other attorney, Gary Springstead, telling the judge Garbin would be a star witness.
Well, what he can do is tell what was in his mind at the time, which is that this wasn't some fanciful plot, this was real. And he can tell the government why he believes other people had the same intent that he did. And show them where to look.
At today's hearing, Garbin apologized to Governor Whitmer and her family, the 25-year-old, saying, quote, "I cannot even begin to imagine the amount of fear and stress her family members felt because of my actions. For that, I'm truly sorry," end quote. Governor Whitmer submitted a victim impact statement ahead of today's hearing saying, quote, "There is room for grace and rehabilitation for those who recognize the danger that has been unleashed and assist in unearthing the hate that has taken root in our society," end quote.
I think that the governor's impact statement, where it acknowledges Ty's acceptance of responsibility, his plea of guilty, and his cooperation was well written. I think we all share, to some extent, a concern with where America is in 2021, which is to say a fractured country where we can't even agree on, we can't agree to disagree.
In addition to revealing plans of the plot, Garbin showing signs of change. Judge Yonker brought up a letter sent by Parents for Peace, which works to de-radicalize people in extremist groups. Springstead says Garbin will continue to work with the group.
I think that's a great example for people to have an insider say, look, I was there. I know what it's like to have those feelings and to act on them even. And, I'm telling you, when you look over the cliff, it's not a good end, and there's other ways to handle this. And so I hope that he not only makes an impact here in West Michigan, but throughout the country working with Parents for Peace.
4 Michigan men and a man from Delaware also charged in federal court. They will go to trial later this year. Another 8 people have been charged in state court with crimes related to the kidnapping plot. Reporting in the newsroom, Ruben Juarez, News 8.